William and Harper fell in love, but Harper couldn't accept her boyfriend's weight and appearance. He tried hard, started a diet, and began exercising to lose the extra weight, but it was like running a marathon and not moving forward. Harper was beautiful and very sexy, but instead of helping her boyfriend, she only criticized him and put him down. She created the worst possible situation. William increasingly saw himself with low self-esteem and no desire to live, but he didn't have the strength to leave this toxic relationship. He hit rock bottom after insisting so much on a relationship with someone who only thought about themselves and didn't care about the feelings of another person. To find out how this story unfolds, stay with us and keep watching our channel. Don't forget to subscribe and comment if you've ever been in a similar situation. William and Harper met in the monotonous universe of a bank agency. He, the manager, and she, a commercial clerk. Their desks didn't touch, but fate seemed to insist on intertwining their paths. When a problem arose, it was inevitable that William would pass by Harper's desk, and vice versa. They complemented each other like pieces of a puzzle that fit perfectly. William, a kind and peaceful man, faced a dilemma: the extra weight he carried. Attempts at the gym proved fruitless, like running on a treadmill without moving forward. Harper, on the other hand, radiated vitality and determination. Her beautiful and sexy body and her contagious energy made her the opposite of William. While Harper attracted admirers with her appearance, William struggled with his self-esteem. What could unite two such divergent worlds? Love, perhaps. The romance grew between them unexpectedly. Months later, they were already living together. The idea was Harper's, and William couldn't refuse, partly because he liked her a lot, but also because he couldn't say no, even though he thought their relationship was still very recent. What began as a love story became a dark tale about the dangers of weakened self-esteem. Daily, Harper insisted on highlighting the physical discrepancies between them, slowly undermining the confidence and hope that William placed in the relationship. Where once the admiring looks that Harper attracted were a source of mutual pride, they now became triggers for William's bitterness and emotional dependence. However, William remained blind to the toxicity of the relationship, clinging to the illusion that love could overcome any challenge. After a few weeks sharing the same roof, Harper noticed that she was gaining a few extra pounds, and her measurements had increased, threatening her self-image. After all, she considered herself the muse of the bank agency. So, as a strategy to divert attention from her own situation, she started teasing William about his few extra pounds, calling him her little whale. The frequent teasing made William uncomfortable, as he had struggled with weight since childhood. He tried not to care too much, but it was complicated when the person he loved highlighted what he detested most about himself and reminded him of it all the time. William understood the importance of appearance to her, but he never imagined becoming the target of such frequent jokes. Even though he felt somewhat bad about the comments and teasing, he preferred not to say anything to Harper. One morning, while Harper was getting ready for work and complaining again about the tight pants that wouldn't close around her waist, William invited her to work out with him. Harper agreed, and on the same day, they discovered a gym in the neighborhood. William had never exercised or attended a gym before, only short walks and runs. Working out alongside his girlfriend wasn't as simple as he imagined. He was visibly overweight compared to the other men who frequented the gym. Furthermore, William didn't understand how most of the equipment worked, forcing him to constantly ask the instructor for help. He felt clumsy, unaccustomed to lifting weights, and each set left him extremely tired. On the other hand, Harper had experience working out in the gym, so it was much easier for her. In no time, Harper's extra pounds disappeared, revealing a sculpted abdomen. She was delighted with the results, never letting a day pass without admiring herself in the mirror. William felt completely out of place with the whole situation. Despite his dedication to the gym and never missing a day, his progress was noticeably slower. Every gram lost was a tough battle. For him to change his image noticeably would require a significant weight loss, and that discouraged him more and more every day. The more he thought about how much longer it would take to achieve his goals, the more demotivated he became. In these moments, he confided in his girlfriend, but instead of finding encouraging words, he heard, "You're weak. Stop whining and try harder," Harper would say. William tried to keep his spirits up and stay focused, pushing away negative thoughts, but it was becoming increasingly difficult to handle. For Harper, William had spent so much time sedentary, whether behind a desk at the bank or in front of the television, that he no longer had the ability to push himself to the maximum and reach his limits. Every day at the gym, Harper trained for herself, admiring herself in the mirror, leaving her boyfriend in the care of the instructor, without noticing how dedicated he was. It seemed like she didn't understand the differences in their bodies and the time needed to see results. What would you do if you were in William's shoes? Comment below. Despite everything, William didn't give up. He continued training and staying focused on the outcome, even if Harper didn't acknowledge all his efforts and the pounds he had already lost. Even with hurt feelings, he preferred to maintain peace than to conflict with his girlfriend and perhaps risk their relationship. On their anniversary, they chose to celebrate by dining at an upscale restaurant. Harper wore a long and elegant dress with a backless neckline, radiating beauty and sensuality. William, on the other hand, had not yet managed to update his wardrobe to reflect his new physical shape. During dinner, William praised Harper greatly, making her feel even more beautiful. However, she made an insensitive comment that hit William hard. "William, you're still very sloppy. You urgently need to lose weight. This won't do. It seems like you're getting fatter every day." Immediately after the comment, Harper let out a laugh and continued, "Just kidding, but seriously, you need to try harder." The remark was painful for William, especially because Harper didn't acknowledge the efforts he had made to lose weight. Although Harper tried to minimize the impact of her words, William's heart was deeply wounded, making it difficult for him to enjoy the night that should have been special. After that day, the couple chose not to go out together until William lost weight and felt comfortable attending a social event. Additionally, they also stopped going to the gym together, as Harper began going at different times every day, under the pretext of accompanying her workout friends. When they met there, Harper didn't approach her boyfriend at any moment, leaving William feeling out of place. While Harper spent more and more time with her trainer and gym friends, William received less and less attention. He tried to approach her in a friendly manner, showing that he was still present, but Harper only gave him the minimum attention necessary to be heard, ignoring him afterwards. Disappointed, William decided to leave the gym that day, hoping that Harper would realize what was happening. However, she didn't follow him, and when they finally were together at home, she showed no interest in knowing why he had left so suddenly. It became evident that Harper was more concerned only with herself. Gradually, they grew apart from each other. Harper claimed that the relationship was worn out. William tried to convince her not to break up with him, and even promised to go to the gym more often and follow a stricter diet to try to lose weight more quickly. However, Harper insisted that it wasn't about William's appearance, but rather the lack of connection that had once united them. William tried to argue, but his words seemed to fall on deaf ears. He knew deep down that the issue was superficial, and Harper simply didn't want to admit it. Not long after, Harper started dating a muscular man who attended the same gym as them, perhaps even younger than her. Seeing them together, Harper appeared radiant and completely engaged with her new partner, a very different attitude from the one she had with William while they trained together. William had held on firmly until that moment, but the weight of the situation became unbearable. Feeling deeply depressed, he succumbed to anguish and anxiety, seeking comfort in food. He broke all the rules he had set for himself since he started training, realizing that his efforts to please Harper no longer had meaning. He decided to distance himself from the gym to avoid having to witness Harper's presence with another man. He took 15 days off, a decision that didn't surprise anyone at the agency. Although the former couple didn't share their problems with their colleagues, everyone was aware of the new situation through social media. After all, it was difficult for William to face the reality of being replaced by a younger man, with a body he knew he would never achieve. The mere idea of facing his colleagues was too painful for him. At the lowest point in his life, a longtime friend reached out to William, concerned about his sudden disappearance from social media. Angela was a childhood friend of William's, with whom he always shared his thoughts and feelings. She wasn't just William's best friend, but his only friend. Angela, despite being slightly overweight, exuded confidence. Her cheerful and contagious personality won over everyone around her, making her beloved wherever she went. When Angela showed up at William's house, he initially tried to ignore the doorbell, but Angela persisted. Recognizing the delicate situation William was in, she encouraged him to start therapy. During the sessions, William realized how prolonged his involvement in a relationship with someone who didn't accept him as he was, someone who didn't even acknowledge his efforts to improve, had been. With the help of the therapist, William understood how his shattered self-esteem had influenced his decisions from the beginning, preventing him from assessing the situation objectively. He recognized that he had a problem, but also acknowledged the toxic environment that had been created, further exacerbating his situation. That night, after the session, William confronted his own image in the mirror and decided it was time for a change. With the assistance of the therapist and his friend Angela, William was able to put a plan into action, but not to prove something to Harper or anyone else, but for himself. After all, it was his own well-being that should be prioritized. William returned to the gym and sought guidance from a nutritionist, initiating a change in his eating habits. 12 months later, William could hardly believe the results. That bit of extra weight that had bothered him so much was no longer there. His wardrobe was now completely different. Everyone noticed William's physical transformation, as well as his heightened self-esteem. He now felt confident to express his ideas, go out in public, dine at restaurants, without worrying about others' opinions of his appearance. During a weekend, William received a message from Harper, his ex-girlfriend. She wanted to talk in person. William had gotten used to Harper's presence at the agency, but since the breakup, they had never been alone in a room together. Unsure of what to expect, he agreed to meet her. At the restaurant, while they were having lunch, Harper praised the changes William had made to his body. "You're different, William. Handsome, leaner, and full of confidence. I was thinking maybe we should give it another try. You always treated me like a princess, and I miss that." William, on the other hand, reflected that he needed a partner who would be by his side not only in moments of success, but also in life's toughest challenges. Thus, he explained that resuming the relationship wasn't in his plans, as it would contradict who he had become. Harper was surprised and apologized, acknowledging her mistake. However, William didn't know if the apologies were sincere or just an attempt to persuade him. Nevertheless, it no longer mattered to him. William bid farewell to Harper and left the restaurant, ready to move on. He was aware of his worth and abilities, regardless of his physical appearance. From that moment on, William began to realize who truly supported him and stood by him in the toughest moments. Angela. He started to see Angela in a new light, and the friendship between them began to turn into romance. But that's a story for the next video. Subscribe to our channel and watch the other one that's appearing on your screen.